Hey folks, yesterday I put out a video like 20 minutes after we got the news that Dolly Parton had passed away. And in that video, I said something that apparently caught the ire of some folks. I said that you should be political now because Dolly Parton was political. And a lot of people took offense to that. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I said that. And I wanted to clarify it for some folks because there seems to be this like cognitive dissonance with people where they just don't understand when I say something like that how very fucking true it is. Um, this is going to challenge some of you. If you believe that Dolly Parton wasn't political, this is going to challenge you because Dolly Parton would tell you, well, I don't like to get into politics. And she would say that very much because she believed that. But that doesn't mean that her stances were not political stances. And to think that she didn't know that is basically saying that you think she's an idiot because she absolutely knew that her stance in favor of the gay community was political. She absolutely knew that her stance in favor of women's rights was political. She absolutely knew that her stance in favor of trans rights was political. She knew that her protection of animals and protection of environment and all of the good things she did, she knew it was political. She understood that. She just didn't want to put it in your face. But that doesn't mean she didn't talk about it. It was literally her. And so when people say things like, well, Dolly Parton never got political, either you're a fucking moron or you just don't understand what politics is. Because the reality is that in the ideal world, these things should not be political. I agree. They shouldn't be. Gay rights, the protection of the LGBTQIA plus community should not be a political thing. But we don't live in should fucking world, right? We don't live in the should land. We live in reality. And the reality is that we have an entire political party that has made it their goal to infringe the rights of that community, to take away the rights of women for bodily autonomy, to take away the rights of trans people, to take away the rights of gay people, to take away the ability to vote, to take away this is something that the entire party stands by. These are the things that they do. This is, identity politics, yes, but it is their stance. The party that says government shouldn't be in your business is all up in everybody's fucking business. And that is in direct contrast to what Dolly Parton stood for. She said many times, hundreds, if not thousands of times, I I think we should accept people for who they are. I think we should love people for who they are. I think people should be whatever they should be. Dolly Parton was a good fucking person. And the reality is that if you say things like, well, she didn't get political, then you don't understand. Yes, she didn't get political in terms of necessarily saying vote for this person, but her stances on topics and on policies and on ideas that she had of putting forward, putting books in children's hands, these, unfortunately, are political things now. Republicans have voted to take those books out of children's hands. How can you say that it's not political when there is votes being cast on it? It is absolutely fucking political. Her stance on most things was a political stance. She didn't call it that, but it was still politics. And here's the part that's going to challenge those of you that would probably like to disagree. If you disagree with her stance, I fucking hate to tell you, but you're on the wrong side, right? Like, that's what you have to understand. Like, if you're somebody that is voting for the people that are infringing on the rights of women or gay people or trans people or whatever it may be, the people that she championed, if you're voting for people that are hurting those communities, then don't consider yourself a fucking Dolly fan. Because you're obviously not. You don't give a fuck about the things that she actually stood for. You may like her music, but you didn't give a fuck about the things she actually stood for, because if you did, then you would understand that there is a line there. There is division there. And that division is being caused by the people that you're voting for in these instances. And so remember that. If you are somebody, look, I know Trump put out a Truth Social thing saying, rest in peace and all that stuff. Great. That's wonderful. We can all show that we're sad about the fact that she's passed on. Now, what about his fucking policies? Are his policies lining up with the things that Dolly believed? Because if not, then I hate to tell you, he's literally politically divided from what Dolly believed in. And that's the case for the entire Republican Party. So I just wanted to make that very fucking clear. Like, you can't say, well, she never got political and that's why people liked her. No, that's not true at all. She got very political. She was in your face with her politics. She just didn't call it that. And you're too fucking dense, I guess, to understand that these things are political issues. Like, that's just how it is. Gay rights are a political issue. I don't want them to be. They shouldn't be, but they are. They are because of the way that these people try to take them away. Women's rights to do whatever they want to do with their body shouldn't be a political issue, but it is. And whose fault is that? Right? It's not Dolly's fault. Dolly understood. Dolly's on one side. And so just make that fucking clear. Dolly was absolutely political. She understood. Like, you can go back through her entire musical catalog, and there are political songs all throughout it. Songs that talk about people that have died and people that have been beaten down by the system. These are political songs. She fucking used to sing protest songs. What the fuck are you talking about? Dolly Parton never got political. Do you even know anything about Dolly Parton? Like, seriously, like, it's frustrating because people want to paint her as like this all accepting, all, and she was, but she also would call you out if you were an asshole. And that's the truth, is that if you're somebody that's taking rights away from communities, you're an asshole. If you're somebody that sits here and says Dolly Parton wasn't political while voting for people that took away the absolute things she was fighting for, that took away the ability to give books to children, if you're voting for those people, where do you think you stand in history? If you stand against Dolly Parton, where do you stand in history? Anyway, take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.